and ACLs, a guide to securing files and folders. Managing file and folder security in Windows involves understanding access control lists, ACLs, particularly for NTFS formatted volumes. ACLs, also known as DACLs, discretionary access control lists, are essential for controlling access to data. Here's a straightforward look at what ACLs are, how NTFS permissions work, and what you need to know to manage file and folder security effectively. What are ACLs and NTFS permissions? An access control list, ACL, defines the permissions associated with each file and folder on an NTFS formatted volume. It contains individual access control entries, ACEs, each specifying the level of access for a specific user or group. In Windows, this is commonly referred to as NTFS permissions. With NTFS permissions, you can control what each user or group can do with a file or folder. These permissions are vital in scenarios where you want to restrict or grant certain actions to different users, allowing for a more secure and organized file structure. Types of NTFS permissions. Here's a quick overview of the most common NTFS permissions and what they allow users to do. Full control. Users can view, change, create, and delete files and folders. They can also change permissions and take ownership of files. Modify allows reading, changing, creating, and deleting files but does not permit changing permissions or taking ownership. Read and execute enables users to view files and run executable files. List folder contents, similar to read and execute, but specifically applies to folders. Read, users can view folder contents and read file attributes and permissions. Write allows users to create files and write data, with limited permissions, to read attributes. In addition to these, special permissions can be applied, providing custom access levels. To see these in detail, go to Advanced Settings in the Security tab of the File or Folder Properties. How to view and edit NTFS permissions. To view or change NTFS permissions, right-click the file or folder and select Properties. Go to the Security tab to see a list of users and groups with permissions. Click Edit to modify permissions, add users or groups, or remove them. Caution: changing NTFS permissions can lead to unintended access issues. Be careful not to lock yourself or other users out of important files. Avoid configuring NTFS permissions when your goal is network sharing, as that has a different set of permissions. The role of User Account Control, UAC. User Account Control, UAC, adds another security layer by controlling application privileges. With UAC enabled, even administrators run applications with standard permissions by default. When an app needs admin rights, UAC prompts for approval, enhancing security by preventing unauthorized changes. Conclusion: understanding NTFS permissions and ACLs is key to managing file security on Windows. By using ACLs wisely, you can ensure each user has appropriate access, minimizing security risks and organizing your file system efficiently. Whether you're granting full control to specific administrators or restricting access with read permissions, NTFS permissions give you the flexibility to maintain a secure and structured environment.